Hi guys, it's Hugo and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing the rapid fire book tag. I was tagged by Emily, so thank you so much for tagging me, and I'll link her video as well as the original creator down below. And let's start with the questions. But before that, don't forget, leave a comment, like and subscribe if you like my content and if you want to support this channel to grow and to build more bookish content. So let's start. First question is ebook or physical book? Always a physical book. I never was a e-reader until I discovered NetGalley and started receiving some arcs, but I always prefer to have a physical copy to savor because I really like to have a big library at home. Question number 2, paperback or hardback? Paperback. I love a floppy paperback, like the ones that you can floppy. I think hardbacks are beautiful. I can protect more the book, but I love the hardback. I love to crack some spines. I love to be able to change. Hardback is it's very hard to pick as we want and tends to be a little bit heavier. So definitely a paperback. Next one is online or in-store book shopping. Well, if you saw my original tag, the shopping book tag, I'll link up here in the cards. I must prefer an online shopping for many reasons. So online. Trilogies or series? I would say series. I like to spend time in a world that is very well built. I like to spend a lot of time with the characters, but not overdone. But I really enjoy more sometimes than 3 books. So definitely I'll be more in series. Heroes or villains? Nice question. I definitely like more villains. I'm always for the dark side, because unless the hero is a very gray hero, they tend to be almost all the same, and the villain is always so different, and their minds are so interesting to see, and I love a good villain. I always, and this is a funny story, in Snow White from the Disney, I always liked more the evil queen than Snow White, so yeah, I think that says something about me. Next, a book that you want everyone to read. I have 2. So it's a little bit cheeky, but it's from the same author. Jodi Picoult, House Rules or 19 Minutes. They are definitely worth reading. One tackles the issues of bullying, school shootings, and all the problems of that. The other, an autistic boy and the implications you have when you live and how he is alive for an autistic person in this case with Asperger's syndrome. They are very well written with a lot of research. They are simply amazing. Please read them. They totally deserve it. Recommend an underrated book. Oh shit.
2,000 years later.
So I would say The Romanov Empress by C.W. Gorton. It's a historical fiction about the last empress of Russia. And I don't know, maybe one of those, there are new releases that people don't talk so much about, like Down Comes the Night or The Last Thing to Burn. Both of them are amazing. Both of them has reviews here on the channel, so I'll link also in the card. But yeah, those 3 are totally my recommendations because I don't see nobody talk about them. The last book you finished, The Mercurial by Naomi Hughes. It's a fantasy. The review comes out on Thursday, so don't miss it. The last book I bought was As Far As You'll Take Me. It's a new release that came out on March. I pre-ordered when I bought what? When I bought Legendborn and the Aiding Game. I pre-ordered this one and it was my last purchase. I have some pre-orders, but I bought them before this one. So yeah, that was my last book that I bought. It's coming on the mail. The weirdest thing to use as a bookmark? I always have a bookmark with me. That's weird. Maybe sometimes if I lost my bookmark, which is not very often, maybe some pencil or fingers or paper, but I don't use random things. I always have a bookmark with me. I have a big collection of bookmarks. Used books, yes or no? Yes, of course. It's amazing. They are super cheap. They came in great conditions. I love used books. A lot of my books are used. I don't care. I love them. It's amazing. People should enjoy much more used books than they do. Top 3 favorite genres: fantasy, thriller, historical fiction. Yeah, thriller, yeah, basically. Fantasy, historical fiction, and thrillers. They are my top 3. Borrow or buy? Buy. I can borrow books. I used to put in the library, But the thing is, if I really love the book, I will want to keep, so then I will have to buy them. So I buy them in the beginning. Usually I try to go for used books. So yeah, always buy. I prefer, even if it's a disappointment, then I try to sell it, give to someone, um, go donate them. I find them another home, but I prefer to have them at the beginning. Characters or plot? I always thought I was more a plot person, because I remember being a little younger and always books that were very much focused on characters, they bored me, and because they were slow burns. But now I think I'm much more going to characters. I really enjoy a good story with character growing. For example, anything for Pac-Man, Tigana was a great example of that. And I think I'm growing from both sides. It's not just only the plot that matters. I enjoy much more a character grow and a character driven story where you see his journey than to have an amazing plot and a very huge plot. Long or short books? Long. I don't know. All my books are a lot. Are huge. Like I think the shorter than I have are less than 200 pages, but most of them are up 300. So the longest, the best. I'm not afraid of big books. I enjoy the more time you spend. I think it has a problem that the author can put just stuff there that doesn't matter, but they also can do a lot of. They have a lot of growth and they can build up much more than in a small book. So definitely a longest book. Long or short chapters? Um, I don't mind, but I prefer short because it's easier to stop. I'm reading and I try to go to the end of the chapter. So if they are shorter, it's easier. But I don't mind if they are long. I stop in the middle of the chapter if it has to be done. Name the first three books you think of. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, City of Girls, and Misery by Stephen King. I was trying to picture not the same books that I said here, so it was hard because I said 19 minutes, so yeah, but three amazing books, all 5 stars. Books that make you laugh or cry. My grandmother says regards and apologies, or my grandmother says she's sorry. That was a book that made me cry and then make me laugh at the same time. I don't tend to cry on books. I'm much more a laugh person. I will tend to laugh much easier than cry. But yeah, I really loved that Pac-Man book. It was a mix of emotions and was very cool. Our world or fictional world? Fiction. I know, I like some paranormal books and fantasy books that are passing like this world, but I'll prefer to be, if it's brand new, it's much more exciting because it's not what we expect and everything is very different, and I tend to enjoy that more. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes, definitely yes, and yes, they count as a read. Uh, as I told you in the beginning of the channel, I always have an audiobook that now we are in lockdown and I don't leave home. It stopped. But I love to hear some audiobooks. I not hear everything on audiobook. Fantasies I'm not very into, but I like a romance, a thriller, a contemporary in the audiobook. It's just so good, and there are amazing audiobooks. Like the one with Sadie, it's amazing. It's a full cast. It has mixed media, so it's an amazing production. And then you have amazing audiobooks that are simple stories that you can follow. And for people who don't speak English so much or don't are tend to lost, if they go to a contemporary or a YA romance, they get much follow, and they will start to train their ear to that. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? That's not, let's not gonna be liars. Yes, of course. The eyes heat, and the first thing you saw is what captured your attention. When I'm doing my research for the most exciting books, the first thing that comes to the eye is the cover and the title. The title you have to read, but the cover, if it captures you, keep like, I spend one more second to see it, and then I see the title, and then if it captivates me, I'll go see the synopsis. But I'll definitely say yes. we judge, and I judge books by the cover. A cover that is not appealing, I will not be so focused unless someone says, "Oh, it's a really good book." Okay, I'll pick it up. But if it doesn't captivate me, I'll probably won't be captivated to read the synopsis. So yeah, definitely yes. Book to movie or book to TV adaptation? I think it depends. It depends on the type of the book. If it's a fantasy, I think I'll prefer to be a series, and I will explain why. Because it has more time to build up the world and build up the characters, and to lose in the small details that are important. And in movies, they have only 2 hours, 2 hours and a half to comprise a book or two books, so you lost some important parts. But if it's like a romance or something, or a thriller, it can perfectly be in a movie. I'm not picky on that, but I think each genre has a preferable state to go into. A movie or TV show that you prefer to its book? Good question. Well, I'm not a very fan of movies and TV. I watch, but I lose much time reading, and now with PhD working at stuff, I don't have so much time. But let me think. A movie that I like it more than the book? Well, I found one that is easy. I didn't like New Moon. Even when I was in the Twilight phase, I hated New Moon, and I really enjoyed the movie. So for me, the movie was a little bit upper than the book. Now, the last one is series and standalone or standalones. Series. Standalones? Depends. I think depends. If it's a contemporary or a romance, I would prefer to be only a standalone. But in series, or it's fantasy, I'll go for series, because unless it's like 1,000 pages and it's everything well built, I think sometimes it misses something. So I'll say series for fantasy, standalone for the rest. So guys, this was my rapid fire questions. I will tag who I will tag. So I will tag Eric by Break-Even Books, Mafalda from Mafalda's Reading, Reviews My Very, Sphinx Reads, Dora, because I love Dora, and then Dora is not doing so much text today, and anyone who watched me, like Jojo, Jeremy, Attention. You know everyone that I love and I follow, so do this tag. It's very fun, it's very fast, and the faster the best. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment this video. I'll post videos every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!